How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Happy Monday. We have a lot to talk about here today on the big thing, man. As you saw in the title, it looks like Ben Mendelsohn's coming back. Director Krennic, we knew it. We knew he was coming back to Andor season 2. Well, that's happening. So we'll discuss it. Is it the right choice? What do we think? We'll put our comments in there. You put your comments in there. So we'll have all that and more. Jurassic World Part 73 is coming out, and Scarlaet Johanson is cast. I think I'll have Rocha confirm this when he's on later. I think that that Hot Mike was the first to break this scoop. I don't know. Either way, she's talking about it. She's excited about it. Are we excited about it? Is it going to make another $1 billion, regardless of if it's good or bad? We'll have that conversation. The box office, Inside Out 2, crushing it. So we'll continue. Will the wave keep going on with the movies that are coming out? What has a chance to be the next big hit? Superman. We got new suits. Sure. New pictures of the suit. So we'll talk about that. Also, make sure, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, comment, everything that you can do. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. We have so much going on, and I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. But it's going to be me and John Rocha live here today on the big thing. Let's do it. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's myself and John Rocha. Now, here's the question, without John even saying anything. Now, don't even say anything yet, John, because I can hear John fine. And when I pre-record people on this program, it works just fine. Now, the question is going to be, can the audience hear John? Let's see, John, go ahead and give a little thought on the weekend, and let's see if anybody can hear you. Maybe. Let's see. If now I want to see if we get the let's see if they can hear you or not. They can't hear you. It's so weird. I don't know why they can't hear you. They can't hear you. So I'm just gonna send you. It's weird. I don't know if it's something live or whatever it might be, but it's really, really bizarre. All right. We'll do the same thing we did last week. Let me send this to you. And all right, hold on. And next week we'll know. We'll just have to do it this way again. All right. Here you go. Enjoy. See you later. Drop off, will you? All right. So when he is, he'll be back. And what am I doing with these? Who cares? Anyway, we have so much. So I already see all the questions, right? We haven't started yet. You guys are throwing in questions. This is amazing. We're gonna have all these questions answered, and we are going to go through all the topics. So it's going to be really good. And this way, because I knew last week. So I don't know why this happens. You know, it's weird is because when I pre-tape these episodes, you can hear everybody. Now you're gonna really hear him fine.
Yeah, there we go.
And there he is.
Yeah.
So, all right, John, we got you. Now I guess it's a little bit different, but we got you guys. John Rocha, myself. You mentioned Dan Merle was what you said on the on your no audio.
Yeah.
And it's it was a great show, man. I had a lot of fun with Dan. We had a lot of people come out to the show. It was a nice venue.
Yeah.
And it was, I saw a lot of some new people, some old faithfuls. It was really good. And I took Merle to a good pizza spot.
Nice.
And it was good. So we had a good time, and it was nice to see everybody. So, and then right before I got on here, and I think that people know this. I don't know. Maybe. Well, I guess the people who watch all the time will know this.
Yeah.
But I just finished an interview with Jamie Campbell Bower, and I did a full hour with him, and that's going to be on the channel tomorrow. And nice. We talked about Horizon for a bit. We talked about Stranger Things for a very long time.
Yeah.
We talked about we talked about Game of Thrones. Do you know his story with Game of Thrones?
I don't know the full story of him with Game of Thrones, but I've heard things in the wind in the past.
So he was cast in the pilot
Yeah.
of the original Game of Thrones. Then scheduling happened and he couldn't do it. So when they wanted him back, he couldn't do it. And then he got cast in the 2019 prequel series. That doesn't happen. So
the
then
Naomi Watts one, I think.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then he gets Stranger Things.
Mm.
So like kind of works out. And we talked about that. We talked about him being a musician. He's just really he's a good dude.
That's great.
I really, really like talking to him. I talked to him for a full hour.
Wow.
And it was like, and we shot the shit. We talked about the Haktua girl. It's amazing.
Wow, it's even permeated Jamie Campbell Bower's existence.
Everybody knows who it is. Just, Haktua, spin on that thing. Everybody knows who that is.
Haktua.
She's the most famous person in the world right now.
Someone did a meme of LA Knight. Let me Haktua, and I thought that was genius.
Yeah. She's everywhere. She's absolutely everywhere, and people are making shirts off of her thing.
I know. If you go viral, you should be able to own whatever people do with your stuff, because people are making money off of her stuff and not paying her down.
It's true. It is true. Ed Haskell says that Iron Sheik actually started it all. He really did. He really did.
Iran, number one, US. Haktua.
We brought up the Haktua girl like 2 or 3 times on that Jamie Campbell.
Oh, did you really?
Right, we talked about her twice.
Maybe she's at the bottom of Stranger Things.
Absolutely,
she's underground or underneath, whatever it is, upside down.
But anyway, we have a ton of questions already coming in. We got a lot of good topics here coming in today. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I haven't had a chance to get to House of the Dragon spoilers yet. I'm only doing my immediate reaction. I did episode 1 and 2, but it's tough, man. Like I've been like,
of course,
with the I'll be honest, and I'll call myself out here,
okay?
Because this is I have boxes everywhere in my house.
Yeah,
boxes everywhere, and it's very hard to find stuff. So I was helping my daughter. We have this room where we're taking her Barbie stuff out and doing all these things. So yesterday I was in there and I'm opening things up with my keys and everything too. So this morning I needed to get in here. I wanted to get in my time. I wanted to get around 9 o'clock in the morning. So it would have been like 6 your time. But that would have given me so much time to prep our show, to prep the Jamie Campbell Bower interview, do all that and get everything done that I needed to get done, and even do a Stranger Things spoiler review.
House of Dragon spoiler.
Yes.
Right.
What did I say?
Stranger Things.
It's on the mind. But House of the Dragon. Yes. House of the Dragon spoiler review. So I wake up and I say to my wife, all right, I need to get we only have one car right now. So I'm like, I need you to drop me off at the office at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So 8:30 rolls around. I can't find my keys. 8:45 rolls around. Can't find my keys. 9 a.m. 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock. 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Wow.
I get to a point where I'm like, I tell the kids, I'm like, all right, get off your asses. Whoever finds the keys, I'll get you a toy, I'll get you whatever the fuck it is. Just move your asses and start looking.
PS5, whatever you want.
Four people looking. So finally, at like 11:15, I'm like, wait a minute, there's one last spot I didn't figure out.
Oh boy.
And I looked. And there they were, sitting there behind this stupid box.
Wow.
So I didn't get into the office until almost 12 o'clock.
Wow. Your time.
My time. Yeah. So I still had enough time to prep for Jamie, which was good. That was the priority. Then luckily enough, you wrote me and you said you couldn't do it at our normal time today. Yeah. So that helped me. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, but it just gave me any other leeway to do anything else. So anyway, but we have some good stories.
Yeah.
I'm
excited. Yeah. Ironically, the reason I couldn't do it this morning is because we recorded our spoiler review for the Geek Buddies for House of the Dragon, which is up now.
Okay.
We had to adjust time on the channel. So it worked out. Like you said, I was glad that you were like, oh no, let's do it later. So like, perfect. I don't have to miss the show. So
yeah. And listen, this is what I need you guys to do. Here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
I need you to not talk about my lighting right now. I'll tell you why. Because I'm not going to be able to fix it. I'm not fucking fixing it until Brett gets here. He's going to be Brett. So I got a really nice guy who on a DM said, "This is how you fix it." I go, "I'm not doing it. Yeah. Brett's going to be here in a week, and he'll do it." I need to, if I start fucking around with lights and I messed it up even more, then we're in the shits.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the lights. The lights. Like, if there wasn't, because there's shit on the wall.
Yeah.
You know, the light. What's wrong with the lights?
People just want it to look good, man. You know, they're frustrated that it's not quite what they would like to see.
Well, because they're really good cameras. They're like
yeah, of course
they're like 4K, and it should be perfect. But I'm not the lighting guy. I'm not the tech. I am gonna do it by candlelight.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do it like Eddie.
Yeah,
like Eddie Murphy had his little his candles behind him when he was doing Zoom interviews and stuff. So,
I just watched Beverly Hills Cop on the plane. Did I tell you that last week?
The first one?
First one.
God, I love that one, man.
It's just such, and I thought about our conversation.
Oh yeah,
and about how I don't know if they're going to capture that feel. I will tell you this:
it's tough when he's
almost who shows up in Horizon Part 1?
Who? Eddie Murphy?
Tandino.
Oh,
Tandino shows up. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I love that. I love that Tandino shows up. All right, let's get into some stories. Let's get into the main story here, John, because we got the main story, and it is of course Krennic.
Hello,
he's coming back, and everybody at least thought he was going to come back, but there was no announcement. You know, every time someone asked Ben Mendelson about it, or have any kind of interview with them, they'd ask him about it. And he of course has to play coy, but it's one of these things like, well, no shit. If you're doing a prequel to Rogue One, then that makes all the sense in the world. But it looks like it is indeed going to happen. So as the cruel pranks will do to you, I can't pull up the story. So John, he's coming back.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I love this, and as you said, it makes total sense. And if they're going to use the second season to essentially do 5 years of time jumping, I think it's 5 years of time jumping, or maybe it's longer. You're naturally going to have Cassian be aware of the rise of Orson Krennic. And I'm sure Galen Erso is going to have something to do with what's going on in the world of Rogue One at that time as well. So it makes all the sense in the world. Ben's a really consummate actor and certainly not someone who puts on airs. So the fact that he is willing to come back and do this on a smaller form content, something he originated on a larger screen content situation, rather, I think it's great that he's coming back and excites me. And you need a good villain, right? You need a good villain. And I feel like although he was good in Rogue One, he was so quickly dispatched in the latter half of the movie that he didn't get a chance to really let his freak flag fly as a villain. And so the fact that he's going to get now a little more time in a show like this, I think is going to be fun to see when we get into this second season, which apparently some people, so I've seen some leaked images or videos on Twitter, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to see any of this stuff. Don't leak anything.
Well, so the story is that earlier this year, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and Andor fans received some unfortunate news. Ben Mendelson said, or at least suggested, he would not be returning. I don't even remember saying that.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Yeah, it was just complete farts. He said, as for being contacted for Lucasfilm for a new project, he said, no, I've not been approached for something like this. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. However, Diego Luna said this past weekend at the Superhero Comic-Con 2024 that Andor suggested we might see many familiar Rogue One faces in season 2.
Love it.
He said, I can tell you, Rogue One is coming, so there will be characters that you will recognize. There will be cool stuff. For those who love Rogue One, this season is going to be very special, and we're happy to report that Ben Mendelson will, in fact, be back for season 2, likely sometime near the end of the season. Late last week, we talked to Mexican filmmaker Alonso Ruzapalacios, I think, for his excellent and upcoming kitchen drama. It's better if I mess it up than you, John.
It's true. Oh, yeah, yes, yeah.
Which stars Raul Briones and Runa Mara and a very eclectic cast of newcomers. Already revealed as one of the directors of season 2, along with Ariel Kleinman and Janice Metz. While, they were paranoid about saying anything about Andor, but they said there's some actors like Stellan Skarsgård, Forrest Whitaker, Ben Mendelsohn, presumably not realizing he was revealing something of a spoiler. Oh, so I guess he said Ben Mendelsohn. I guess he did it by accident.
Right.
So anyway, so the director releases the information that this is indeed what happened. So if there's other people, you would assume obviously that Alan Tudyk is going to return here. That makes a lot of sense. Also, Yeah, I mean, because you're gonna have this.
Right.
Now, the question is this is we've talked about this many times over with
Mhm.
canon stuff, and they don't pay attention to canon stuff over at Lucas, obviously, as we've seen in Acolyte. But in the comic book, if for those people who buy the comics, the comic book explained, at least we think for a second, of how K2SO and Andor met.
Right.
I think there's no world that if they are going to show you how they met, they're not going to recreate it, and they're not going to do it. And Tony Gilroy's not going to say, "Oh, yeah, give me the comic. We're going to reshoot the comic scene." Now, it's a possibility that they just pick up that they've met, and then they say, "Yeah, it's just the comic." They you want to see how they met? You read the comic, and now they're working together. Maybe it opens up, and you don't see them meet up, and they're just buddies. And it's like, okay, if that's the case, then they don't have to explain it. But if I feel like they're going to just do a scene that totally negates the comic book. What do you think?
I think, listen, if they're not even worried about the novels, they could give even they could give even less of a shit about the comics. So I think for sure we're not. I mean, we might see some allusion to some similar meeting that echoes the comic, but I don't think it'll be an exact interpretation of it. Yeah, for sure. But we do need it, right? Because it's fun, right?
Yeah. Someone said they met in season 1. They did not meet in season 1. That was a different droid.
Season that isn't.
It was a different droid.
For God's sakes, Gloppy.
Yeah, it was a different one. But
Jalopy.
I just don't think that it's going to happen. And
oh yeah, Mike Joyce asks the really good question. Adria Arjona, yes, please.
She's got to come back. Yeah, I'm sure they signed her up for 2 seasons for sure because it was her arc's not over yet. I think Andy Serkis is returning.
Yes.
I think he's definitely going to come back.
He survives.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think we get Forrest Whitaker? Will I be back?
He's already in. He was in season 1.
He's got to be, right?
He was in season 1.
Yeah, he has the scene with Skarsgård. Yeah.
So if he's in season 2, that would be interesting. But I think that there's I feel like Andor season 2 is going to do way better than season 1 did in its initial kind of run. Like when it started, people were, this show's not doing very well, and then just people kept watching it because it's just a good show. But it took the word of mouth. It just took a while. But I think the initial run, it's gonna for season 2, it's gonna be way more, especially when a lot of the other shows have kind of been letdowns. Good job.
I think that's the number one reason, brother. What you just said, because the other shows have been a bit of a letdown. People have been, and it's not saying that people, we've seen people certainly who loved Kenobi and loved and do like the Acolyte and do like some of the other shows and Ahsoka and all that. But like the overall sentiment has been that the shows haven't quite hit the mark, except for The Mandalorian and Andor. So I think people will be extremely excited for what most people have been saying is that Andor is like the top of what they've done. So that there's a second season, I think a lot of Star Wars fans are going to be excited to enjoy it again and go back into that world again. And so just like they were for season 2 of Mandalorian, right? There was so much excitement, which season 3 might have kind of dissipated that a little bit, but like season 2 of Andor is something that everybody wants to kind of come back together and enjoy Star Wars again, man. What will heal the divide that is happening now is Andor season 2, and certainly the timing of it couldn't be any better than considering what's going on out there, man.
I wonder if it'll heal it in the way that Mandalorian season 1 did.
Yeah.
I don't think it will, because I don't think it's as beloved. I think you got a lot of people who think it's boring or it's not Star Wars, and you're still going to get that portion of the fan base. But I think that if you can get the one movie, the Favreau movie can get it in, it can really get it working. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm interested with the Rey movie, but I don't think that's the one. I think that I don't know what Filoni's going to do with his movie. Skeleton Crew is an outside shot. Skeleton Crew's got an outside shot because I like what John Watts did with the old man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. That was great.
So I mean, it's like but even that face that you just made, it's like I can't chastise you for making that face. Because now it's look, I made that face though for Andor when they announced it. Who cares about Andor? It's like the guy dies. It's like who cares? It's like the character was kind of interesting, and Diego Luna doesn't do much in Rogue One. He's fine in Rogue One. It's not his movie,
right? It's much more her movie,
right? Yeah. But then you realize why he's Diego Luna. because he shines in this show, and the show is just brilliantly written. And Tony Gilroy, who wasn't even part of the original movie, he wasn't supposed to be part of the original movie, and then ultimately kind of took over that world. And then it all makes sense when you go back and you look at it. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for season 2. I'm excited that Krennic is coming back. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think you lead up and it makes even more sense that it's going to be kind of the later half of the season. You get a little bit more of the creepy relationship between Serial Boy and the other what's her name?
Really hard ass blonde lady who worked for the Empire.
That was her original name.
I forget her name.
Yeah. But so let me build on all the characters. Let me see all the characters that we got to know. Let me learn some more stuff. And I'm psyched. And I hope in the same way that it was close to 50 minutes to the last episodes.
Yeah.
Did you start watching that Dark Matter yet? I told you about?
No, not yet. No. Come on, man. June is insane. I've got smoke coming off my channel. You know that.
I know.
So, I haven't even started Dark Matter, man.
I know. It's the funny. The priority for me should be The Boys, but I haven't even watched one episode yet.
I'm totally caught up on The Boys.
I know, and I watched. I'm 8 episodes into Dark Matter. The season finale is coming into the 9th. It's just so good. It's my favorite. And then you got The Bear coming up this Wednesday.
Yeah, Bear this Wednesday, right? Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, all right, put your comments in there, guys. And as I said in the beginning of the show, as I say now, I see everybody putting in those super chats. We're going to get to all of them. We're going to cover everything. And then at the end, when we're done, we'll say thank you, because that's what we do here. We say thank you. So you put everything in there, no matter what you do. Appreciate it. Before we move on, I wanted to also let you guys know, as always, we tell you each and every week, we have wonderful sponsors here, and we are able to keep the show going because you guys keep checking it out. Even it's as simple as going and downloading an app from a website that we're working with. And I'll tell you about such a sponsor here with Straight Arrow News and Built. Here you go. It doesn't matter when or where, what app, you are always looking for news stories that are going to present themselves in an unbiased fashion every single time, especially from me, what I've been covering lately in the UAP stuff. And I can't find unbiased news. You think so. That's what they tell you. It's like, well, if you go over here, you can get that side of it. If you go over here, you can get that side of it. But it seems to me, and to a lot of you, there's a pretty biased agenda on a lot of different outlets. I found a solution. Straight Arrow News. What I like about them is that they focus on fact-based, and they're not partisan. It is a bipartisan site, and that is why I am on board. They try to represent each side of the story, truly balanced news. They look at both sides of the aisle, and they try to acknowledge all of the key talking points. I think it's important because I think, as I've said many times over, you've got to talk to each other and respect each other's beliefs on whatever it is, whether you agree or disagree, and to represent it in a way of, look, we're looking at this side, we're looking at this side, we're just reporting the news. So one of the cool features on the app is something called Media Miss. And what it is stories that right outlets aren't covering, left outlets aren't covering, well, they cover them. So head on over to sand.com/Harloff and subscribe over there. Use that link because you're not just supporting this channel, you're supporting the journalists that are just there to bring you the truth. So check it out. Go in the link, do it, and check out Straight Arrow News. Thanks for watching. All right, you know what stinks? When you're stuck in a loop of rent payments, you're just watching your money vanish into thin air. It's the worst. It's time to turn the rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. How do you do that? That is where Built Rewards comes in. Built is breaking ground as the first rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Doesn't matter, even if you're rocking the old school rent check vibes, Built Rewards, it's got your back. They're going to mail the check for you. It's like basically having a personal rent paying assistant. It's the best. Every month you pay your rent and you watch the points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points towards a flight or a hotel stay with 500 plus airlines and 700,000 plus hotels and properties. Pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbuilt.com/bigthing. That is joinbilt.com/bigthing. All right. Thank you to our friends over at Straight Arrow News and Built. Really appreciate it. As I tell you, go and check out Straight Arrow News. Just download the app. That's all you got to do. Built. A bunch of people have been getting built because guess what? They came back. So I am glad that you checked out both of them. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, John.
Mhm.
Listen, I don't say this often,
Uh-huh.
but you were right. Yeah.
Somebody mark this down.
I know.
Yes.
Inside Out made $100 million this week. I know. You
That's
said
right.
remember I said, but I did say to you when you said, I said, what's the drop
Don't
off?
qualify it. Don't just say I'm right.
I
Don't
just
qualify.
said that. I said that because when you said it probably made close to 100 million. And I
Yeah.
said, I don't know, I think 70 or 80. I said, but I wouldn't be surprised if you were right.
You would say you wouldn't be unhappy if I was right. That's
Yeah, but
what
I
you
also
said.
wouldn't be surprised. And I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. It just because I think that your points that you made last week was that there wasn't a lot of competition.
Yeah.
At all. And it is that movie thus far has made, I think, 725 million,
Yeah.
724 worldwide in the course of what, 2 weeks.
That's
That movie very well could make $1 billion. It just depends on Despicable Me.
So let's make it clear.
Sure.
Don't come to me and tell me people don't have money for movies. They do. People have money for movies, and especially a Pixar movie, which is a family movie where you're going to take a bunch of your kids and your family to this movie, spend the money for the refreshments and the parking and all of this stuff. So it's fascinating when I see people go like, oh, there's no money. People don't want to spend money. No, they do. They'll spend it, and they have it to spend on the right movie, on the movie that is actually good, actually appeals to them. So it's not about people don't have money. It's the fact that there is something that attracts people to certain movies in large numbers, and they are willing to go and give it a chance. Word of mouth, reviews, just the general overall feeling. You can't quantify it. And I'm always fascinated at people who try to analyze why people like certain things. It's unanalyzable, in my opinion, and it just goes where it goes.
Now,
this could have failed just as easy as it succeeded, man.
Yeah, but I'm gonna push back a little bit.
Okay, feel free.
Yeah, I think that even though I don't disagree with you all the way, I think that you're right that people are choosing what it's like. Oh, yeah, I want to see a good movie and I want to see something I'm interested in seeing, and then I'll go spend my money on it. If that's essentially what you're saying. But I think one of the reasons why you didn't like how it used to be when there was just there wasn't all this entertainment around us at all times. So we're going, I'm going to watch House of the Dragon tonight. Why am I going to go see some movie? I don't even know what the hell it is. Plus, as I mentioned to you last week, I think that with kids, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna definitely spend the money because it's a weekend out with the kids. Granted, you're not wrong. That is with the concessions and with everything, you're spending a chunk of change to take the whole family with you.
Definitely.
But you know that the kids it's probably gonna be worth it for them to go see it. And so it's just like it's a matter of I have a budget. And I don't think it's about people not having money. I think it's more so about it's a budget. It's like, do I want to spend this much on this movie? I don't know what it is. I don't really care about it. It doesn't really seem like it's worth it. And I'm going to be pissed off if it's not good, as opposed to, well, I'll take my kids to it. They're going to enjoy watching it. I'm going to go check it out. I like the first one. I probably dig it too.
Yeah.
And I think it's way more of it's less of a gamble, I think is what it is. I think we're kind of both saying the same things, but I do think there is a budget involved. Not that people don't have money to see it,
right?
It's more of a budget involved now.
Well, I just saw some of the snarky comments from people, over the last few weeks because of how if kind of underperformed and the Fall Guy is like, people don't have money, and it's like, no, people do have money. They have money to, and I've been saying this since Collider, this when I called people out for saying, oh, I can't spend $6 at a movie, and it's like you can buy $6 for Taco Bell or Starbucks, you can buy a ticket to a movie. So it's about being motivated to go, and so there is money there for people to use to go to these movies. They're just much more selective now than they've ever been before. And a lot of things have to work in ways that I think you're saying the same thing, Kristian. A lot of things have to work in certain ways that they didn't necessarily have to work before. And so that's what's making the difference here nowadays, with people being much more selective and frugal about what they're spending their money on when it comes to the movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think it's because there's just so much stuff. It's like there's just so much to watch, and so it's just not worth the risk for a lot of these things. And like And if you look at like Fall Guy is a movie that just didn't do well. It's a good movie. It just didn't do well. It just didn't do well. If didn't do great, but it didn't do bad.
Yeah.
Fall Guy did bad.
Yeah, Fall Guys completely underperformed. Yes,
really,
yes.
and it's a good movie, and it's too bad it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I also understand. I also understand that it's like, well, like why when you look at those things of like, well, all right, well, I can. It's just not like how it used to be. I remember like when I was a kid or teenager, and my dad would be like, "Hey, movie's out this weekend. Want to see something?" Like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen like that anymore too, because it's like, and we didn't know what was out. We're just like, okay, yeah, well, let's go to the movies. We'll see something, whatever the hell's playing.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, I'll turn on the 75 different streaming platforms that I have, but nonetheless, you look at what Inside Out did, 725. I think that's overperformed, right? Like,
Yeah, phenomenally so. I mean, I think it's the greatest second weekend of any animated movie ever.
Yeah.
And Mario Brothers had broken that record in a massive way when they did it, I think last year when it came out. So the fact that they are already topping a record that had just been broken, it's incredible to see. And by the way, I want to clarify something real quick. I see people going, it's not $6 to go to a movie. Yes, I know it's not $6 to go to a movie. Einstein's. I was talking about a few years ago when I said that. I didn't say I'm not. Einstein's a good thing to be called. It means you're smart. And I'm saying back in 2000, whatever it was, when I was on Collider Movie Talk, like 19 or 18, whatever. That's when what I was referencing at the time. You could go to movies for $6, even in LA for a matinee. And that's what I was referencing. Not currently. I know the prices are much higher currently. I have been there. I'm not out of touch, Anthony. I've gone to the movie theater. I know.
Why I wish that other program was working.
I just want to make sure it's clear that people understand. I was referencing something from a few years ago, not now, but there is money now. People will still spend money now for the movies. And you can go in certain cities. As I see some people in Toronto, like, depends on the city. There are plenty of cities around the country where you can go to a movie for $6. The bigger cities, not so much, but certainly the smaller cities, you can for a matinee. It's there. So, yeah, just clarification.
All right. Well, listen. So we do. I mean, you're right, though. 100 million for that movie. I mean, they would have been happy with 100 million opening weekend in general. It was the last movie that made 100 million. That was, I mean, it's the only movie that has not only made 100 million, it did 100 million twice. Because there's no movie. Dune didn't even do 100 million.
No,
So
right.
that's the fact that it did it too, and it's going to keep doing well. Like my wife was like, "Hey, this week I'm going to take the kids to go see Inside Out too."
Yeah,
and she never goes to the movies. She never goes, but she knows she can take the kids to go see it, and she's going to go. She's going to enjoy it. She's going to love it. So, and then Bad Boys was number 2, and that movie pulled in another 20 million.
Yeah.
That movie's made almost that'll tap out at least 350 by the end of its ride.
Yeah.
The Bike Riders opened up at 10. I can't even imagine that. Well, 13 total. I bet how much that movie cost to make?
How you doing? I'm a bike rider. I ride bikes all the time.
Did you see the movie?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna see it tomorrow or Wednesday, but watching these scenes, bro, I'm not excited for it.
It's not terrible. It's just Corey loved it. It's fine. It's fine. It only cost 40 million to make, by the way.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. So
God, I guess the quotes for Tom Hardy and Jodie in Austin aren't that high if it only costs 40 million to make.
40 million, yeah. So let's see. And then so that one and the Garfield movie still stands another 3.6. That movie's made 230 million so far. It's a good little run for that. And then Kingdom did 3.6, and that's I don't know if it's going to hit 400, but it's about like 381 right now. So it was a decent week at the box office.
Yeah.
In general. So it worked out.
Good thing.
Yeah. Now
the other animation is saving cinema.
Oh yeah.
Christian, you got to look at it over the last 5 years. Animation's been incredible, dude.
Easily. Yeah. I mean, and during the summer, if you hit with some kids movies, that's going to boost back. There were no kids movies out when everybody was saying, it's the end of the box office. There were no, I mean, they'll say If and they'll say Garfield, but those were like, just like kind of like nobody thought those movies were going to do big barrel punches. If Inside Out 2 would have underperformed.
Yeah.
And Despicable Me 57 doesn't do well. Then you're like, uh-oh. But it looks pretty good for Despicable Me right now. Are you going to see it next week?
Yeah, and I also think this is because Despicable Me now the gauntlet's been thrown on the ground, right? Now Despicable Me's got to be like, well, we need to come with this kind of reaction. We need to get these kinds of numbers ourselves as well. And to me, I think this is also a great thing for Pixar because certainly the last few films have been released and haven't necessarily done that great. They've suffered some backlash. There's been some issues, but here comes a film and that comes out, and it's of course a sequel to Inside Out, and it does really well. So that's a good thing. I bet there's a lot of relieved faces at Pixar. And, Elemental certainly had legs, kind of like Greatest Showman type of legs.
Yeah, but it
initially do great.
It was one of these. Elemental was like, whew.
Yeah.
We
We got there. Thank God we got there. Right.
Yeah. It wasn't like this, like Inside Out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So hopefully this is a great thing.
Yeah. I think Despicable Me has also been that franchise that continuously just that has made billions of dollars, and of the Minions also. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I gotta find out how rich Steve Carell is, because he better be getting points
for this one. For the fourth, if Amy Poehler was getting $5 million for the second one, looking Inside Out, then you know that Steve Carell is probably making a handful for this one. So all right, the other big story right now, there's a couple other ones, but the big story that we've got to talk about here is this one, Superman. You see the new photos?
I did. Yeah, I saw the video too. There's a video out of them walking around in costumes. Yeah.
Which is, and was it leaked?
Yeah, it was leaked because it was like shot through some trees from someone sitting way back in a cafe or something. So,
So they said that there's, I guess Mr. Terrific is in the shot. Also, is a founding member of the Justice Society. He is well known as some other heroes, but Gunn has a history of bringing previously obscure superheroes to prominence.
True.
Yada yada yada. So they have the shots that came out of the actual suit itself. They show them a little bit more in full costume, the two of them, but this is here's the shot itself that I'll bring it up for you guys if you haven't seen it. And I kind of like it's the new logo, but I really do like it's kind of old school. Everything I've seen so far is a little bit more old school, like Donner style.
Yeah,
like, this suit looks Donner style. Here's the suit itself here. Right there.
There you go.
There it is. So, and you get both of them right there. But I think I like that suit. It's different.
Yeah,
it's different. But I like the new logo on it. And you know what I like about it is that the symbol itself doesn't clearly say this is an S. If you saw that, you'd go, oh, it kind of looks like an S. Look at that. And then if you're like, if in the world of like, let's say Superman's a real guy flying around the joint. And you're like, oh, look at his symbol. What is that symbol? I don't know. It kind of looks like an S a little bit. And then the symbol is just for hope, but people say S and they relate it to Superman, and so it goes. I like that idea. It's not as in your face to it. I like the old school stuff too, but I really like that logo. What do you think, John?
Yeah, the logo is the Kingdom Come logo, and I've always been a fan of the Kingdom Come logo, so I like that it's being used. The fatter S with the thinner lines around the edges. I love that, and the costume's going to be, how can I say this? It's going to be adjusted for when we finally see it in post, so it's going to have much more of that majesty to it when we see it in the final product when the movie comes out. Those lines on the suit that make it, and the design that's a little more armor-ish, I think there's going to be reasons for those lines in the suit. I think there's going to be some kind of Kryptonian reason or connection to the planet or some kind of homage within the suit to the Kryptonian approach to things. So I like that aspect of it all. The red underwear is very reminiscent of the original black and white Superman that we saw on TV with George Reeves. And so I love that aspect of it all. It reminds me of Affleck's outfit when he was playing it in Hollywood land, right? As George Reeves.
Right.
It's got that kind of energy to it. It's modern while also being evocative of the past. So to me, I like it. And the Mr. Terrific one looks damn good as well. I didn't think that would necessarily transfer to live action, but the way they've chosen to adapt it, I think looks really good. But again, these are just leaked stuff. We don't know what it's going to look like till the post. Yeah. But for now, I got no complaints, man.
I think he's the perfect cast for it so far. Whether I don't know if he can act yet. from what people say and from the stuff. But I mean, looks wise, perfectly fit for this. Looks good in the suit. Everything we've seen so far, I love the set of it. When we were on stage, Dan and I, there was an audience member who asked and said, you know, right now, you give you a time machine. What is the one movie that you have to see in 2025? And Dan, you know, on the spot, I forget what he said, and I was like, well, I'm going to cheat, and I started, and I brought up my phone while Dan was talking to bring up because I was like, I can't answer that question without looking at the list. And then as I'm going through, I'm like, well, Superman, I got to see what happens to Superman. I have to see how they deliver this. It's such a monumental time for the DC fan base universe. Like, it's got to hit. I mean, that movie has to hit.
Bro, so much hinges on this movie. You know, not to get political, but like the way this debate that's happening on Thursday is being hyped up, like everyone's like, this is gonna make or break the election, right? This movie is gonna make or break the DC universe. It is literally that important to the DC universe, not obviously overall to our society, but certainly to the DC universe. This has to work. If this falls apart or is middling or mixed,
cancel the rest of it. Cancel the rest of it.
Yeah, you're done.
Cancel the rest of it. If this misses and it does and it underperforms, you're in bad shape.
Just wrap it up.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is something that's going to work? Do you like the pictures? Do you like what you're seeing? Make sure you comment, and not only on the comments on the in the live chat, but as you're watching on the replay. And for everybody who is putting in the super chats right now, we will get to all of them. I already see there's a ton of them that are coming in. You want to put anything, and you don't necessarily only have to ask about movies and TV, whatever you want to ask about. I saw some people put some wrestling stuff in there and other things. So whatever you want to ask, we'll get to it. John and I are pretty good about that. So the other thing before we do get to those questions that I have to get your opinion on this, John, is the Nosferatu trailer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this one hit, and Robert Eggers. I was talking about this with Dan also. This is a movie that I am very, very curious about because I'm on a riding high with Eggers right now because I absolutely loved The Northman. Loved it. One of my favorites of that year. So I feel like this is right up his alley. If anybody was supposed to do a Nosferatu movie, it was supposed to be him. And it looks like this is he's got a style about him now. There are a few directors that are like this and a lot of the greats, right? If you say, okay, in the same way that a composer, there's certain things that if you put like the late great James Horner's music on or Zimmer or somebody, if I listen to a new track, I can tell you that it's them because they have familiar things that are going on, right? Like, this is the same type of thing with a really great director. You're like, you don't even have to tell me that Eggers directed it. I can tell you, did Eggers direct this? And that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, I was going to do a reaction or post my reaction this morning, but of course we did the spoiler review for House Dragon instead. So I just recorded it. I might post it later on today. But like, this is such an interesting new interpretation of Nosferatu. And I have a personal connection to this because the first horror movie I ever saw at 7 years old was Nosferatu, the sepia-toned original with the Max Shrek, Max Shrink, I think it was. I was my nanny, my Latino nanny, fell asleep. 76-year-old lady fell asleep, and I snuck downstairs, turned on the TV, and watched. And that was on. It was like Halloween night or whatever. That was on, and I scared the living shit out of me, and I was scared for nights afterwards. And there's always that thing. And then I, got into a Werner Herzog phase, and I watched his version with Klaus Kinski. That's really unusual and dark for that time. This one has such a scope and such a approach here that I was surprised Eggers was able to capture in a way that feels accessible yet very artistic. And I am so excited to see the end results of all of this. And as you said, like with The Witch, through The Lighthouse to Northman, he hasn't missed yet, in my opinion. And so I want to see what we're going to get from this with the full product once. But like, now I'm on board after this trip. So yeah.
All right. Well, then I guess this is actually the last one because I
Hmm.
I teased it. I teased it before, and I don't want to like not
Okay.
talk about it. And that is, of course, wherever the hell she is, but Scarlett Johansson here somewhere.
ScarJo.
ScarJo talking. This rumor, was I right? Did you guys break this story?
Yeah, we Jeff broke it that there was discussions going
Yeah.
on and that she was going to be the lead in the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Scarlett Johansson confirms that Jurassic World is the next movie she's going to do and teases the movie's incredible script. Marvel alumni Scarlett Johansson has confirmed she is starring in the next Jurassic World movie, and she says there is an incredible script. Reports surfaced in March that Johansson was in talks to join the new Jurassic World movie, which will be the 7th film in the franchise, and now the actress has opened up about her role. Johansson told comicbook.com she's excited about the feature and its story by David Koepp, writer of the original Jurassic Park. She said, I'm an enormous Jurassic Park fan. It was one of the first films I remember seeing in the theater. I remember seeing it so vividly. It was life-changing. It was mind-blowing. I cannot express how excited I am, Johansson said before teasing the next installment. The script is so incredible. David Koepp wrote it. He returned after like 30 years to write the script. He's passionate about it, which is awesome. Johansson is still coming down from her decade of service in the MCU, but admitted she has her eye on the beloved dinosaur franchise for a very long time, with her interest first sparking up when Jurassic World opened in theaters in 2015. She said, I've been trying to get into this franchise in any possible way for over 10 years. I'm an enormous fan and I'm a nerd for it. I'm I'm pinching myself. I've been trying to get into this franchise for over 10 years. I would even die in the first 5 minutes. I get eaten by whatever. I'll do the craft service. I'll do anything. The fact that it's happened in this way is unbelievable. She joins a cast that reportedly includes Manuel Garcia Rulfo, Jonathan Bailey, and Rupert Friend, among others. Two-time Oscar winner Mahershala Ali is also said to have been circling the project in May, but it's unclear at this stage what role he would play. The untitled Jurassic World movie is currently undergoing principal photography. Gareth Edwards is directing. Okay, so that being said,
yeah,
I'm liking what I'm hearing so far when it comes to this movie. Everyone that they've mentioned, they could all be incredible actors, every one of them. And Mahershala Ali is getting, his star is rising, but I still don't think. No, but star's rising. Mahershala Ali is a
yeah. I'm laughing because Blade's trying to kill that star by not making that damn movie.
Right. But he's to our circle very well known, but not in the same way that the budget for this film seems like they're not going to try to break the bank on cast,
right?
Which is this is what I say. This is what you say. Get really good actors that don't cost a lot of money. There's tons of them. There's tons of them. You get one that costs a lot, Scarlett, and then that's it. Gareth Edwards, coming off of that last movie that he did, which I think I liked better than you did, but still, I think we both agree, for $70 million, made it look like $200 million.
Yeah.
So I hope that that's what we're getting with this movie. But I, in the same way that I always get hopeful when a new Terminator movie comes out or these other things come out, that's where I get excited, because I'm like, okay, can they make it work? But do you have any hope for this whatsoever?
Yeah, I have trepidation because I haven't liked any of the Jurassic movies. I think other than the third one, like there's the first one and the third one, right? And then I hate all the Jurassic World movies. So
yeah,
I wonder, this situation is so unusual, Kristian, because the script was already written. They had already developed this thing. They'd gone pretty far down the road. And then they brought in a director.
Right.
And now they've brought in a cast. So it's really a studio created film. Like it is not like, studio hired this writer and then this writer and director worked together to get it was very much like the studio hired the writer. Then all the executives got involved. They honed the script, honed what they wanted. Then they brought in a director to essentially shoot it, but a high-end director in Gareth Edwards. And so this is going to be a really interesting process in how it turns out. And if it turns out well, then great. Because, I mean, all we ever want to be is entertained with these movies. And I haven't necessarily been entertained by these Jurassic World movies. And I like Scarlett. And I like this as she's a confident, strong actress to bring in to lead your franchise right now. So, yeah, it's great. I'm hoping it works out.
And just to be clear, because I saw our longtime supporter here, Aisha, and I think that there's a difference between being an A-list talent, which Mahershala Ali 100% is an A-list talent, to being an A-list, knowing they shouldn't say A-list, so more like well-known superstar movie star actor. If you say Mahershala Ali, to most people, I think they'd be like, oh, which 100%. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. It's like, but he's, as John said, he's on the cusp because he's been, I mean, look, even that movie that he just did with on Netflix with Julia Roberts. That's like one of the most watched movies of all time on Netflix. So, but it's such a weird crossover with streaming. So I don't know.
You're saying A-list actor is not A-list popularity. There's a difference, right? And that people need to understand how we use those terms, right? Yes, he's a 2-time Oscar winner. So is Hilary Swank. Show me the last time she opened a movie that made $100 million. There's a difference. So you've got to, and it's for Moonlight, which like 20 people saw. And the other one is for Green Book, which has got a huge backlash. So
he's a major actor and a major and
he's known in the business, but he's not known.
Right. It's not but he's right there.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right there. Yeah. And it's so anyway. All right, what do you guys think? Go ahead and put your comments in there. We're going to get to your live questions here in just a bit. I see you guys putting in the super chats. We're going to get to all those in just a moment here. But before we do, I want to let you guys know, as I always do, about our wonderful sponsors that we indeed have. And I have to tell you guys about Cremo. I don't know if you guys know about Cremo, but I'm going to tell you about them. And so let's talk about Cremo. So it's a body wash that I just got introduced to not too long ago, but I love it. And why? Because I've been working hard. And when I get and it's been hot. I'm stink like an alley cat when I get home. I'll tell you that. But I want to just go home. I want to take a shower. I want to relax. And I really like to just enjoy it and say, oh, I feel good. I feel clean. And someone, when my wife was like, hey, what are you wearing? Is it a new cologne? I didn't buy any new cologne. I said, no, it's this new body wash that I got from Cremo. It's really good. You want to elevate and you want to enhance your hygiene routine with Cremo body wash. It combines a rich lathering and hydrating formula with meticulously balanced, multi-layered fragrances for a superior shower experience. You really do just feel wonderful. It's great. It's got a new body wash scent maker, and it's got that regular shower. It makes it feel like a luxury experience. You got the bourbon vanilla body wash, which is really nice. And it works well with, it's just, I don't know. I feel relaxed, Sean, when it's like, it's nice because I showered with it after just an intense day of working. And then I just right away after stinking up the joint, I was like, oh, I smell good. I smell good now. And that's why I love it. I really do. I know now I'm recommending them to you, John, but they have a new bourbon vanilla men's body wash, which is great. And it's worth trying out. It's like you never tried it with the scent. You'll step out of the shower and you're gonna feel like a new man. I promise you. Yeah, it's really good. And what makes it different is that it's got a distinct layered scent and it evolves as you wash. It's great. Nice. You can find the Cremo men's body wash in its new distinctive bourbon vanilla scent at Walmart. If you go to walmart.com, that's it. Just go to Walmart or walmart.com. So make sure you check it out. It's Cremo. They're the best. So you're going to love them. And then obviously let's talk about, and I got to tell you about AG1. You guys know AG1. I mean, if you've been listening to this show long enough, you know that I love AG1 and people keep asking me, they notice. John even said when I started, new look, 20 pounds I lost. One of those reasons, AG1 became part of my routine because for a long time, I wasn't paying attention to what was going on in my body. It just wasn't. For me, I read labels. I verify that everything is up to the quality I need. And that is why I've stayed with AG1 for as long as I have. It is a research-backed foundational nutrition supplement. And it delivers daily nutrients, gut health support, and it's backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting into your body. Because I like coffee. I used to drink so much coffee to keep up, but I don't need it anymore, not as much, because after drinking AG1, I have realized that I have all this energy and I need less coffee to power my day. It turns out I'm not alone. because in a research study, 91% of people noticed they needed less coffee after 60 days of drinking AG1. 97% of people in a research study felt more energy after 30 days of drinking AG1. That's crazy. 91% of participants noticed that they need less coffee after 60 days of drinking AG1. That's me. Energy is a majorly important reason why it comes to I need so much energy for parenting. I can tell you that right now. AG1 contains ingredients to sustain energy so you can be the best version of yourself within each day. And it really has worked for me, and it's helped me on the plane, everything. It's easy, it's satisfying to start your journey with AG1. If you go to AG1 and you can get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. You got to go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. drinkag1.com/bigthing. It's the one product I trust to support my whole body health. It's AG1. All right. So thank you to our friends over at Cremo and AG1. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm telling you, I got to try both those. It's really, really good. All right. We got some questions. Got a lot of questions, actually. And we're going to start with this one, John.
Okay.
Dennis Hoffman. Lucasfilm feels like it's rudderless. Excited for season 2 of Andor, but everything feels stale. Hope Andor season 2 gets as much FYC campaigning as Ahsoka. Well, season 1 of Ahsoka, Andor got a lot.
Yeah.
They got a lot. But I don't disagree with you, Dennis. I think that right now they don't really, even when you're seeing what happened to John.
What happened to me?
You know, I don't see anymore. Did you? Your camera went out.
Oh, my camera went out. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, but we'll get it back. But I think that for a lot of these interviews that I'm even seeing, I don't know how authentic it feels, and I also don't know. I don't know. I'm like you, Dennis. To me, it's just not feeling as the magic seems to be gone. But I think Andor, and that's why I said I'm a little hopeful for Skeleton Crew. I'm a little hopeful. But John, what do you feel about it? Do you think it feels rudderless, or you like where it's at?
No, I don't know if it feels rudderless. No, now you guys are getting a real glimpse into my office here. I don't know if it feels rudderless. I mean, I'm going to judge.
I like that shot. Yeah, it was nice before you did now you get the ring light in there.
Terrible angle. How dare you? All right. No, rudderless is a difficult thing to say because it's clear that they have a vision. So it's not necessarily rudderless. Right. It's that you don't like what their vision is what's going on right now. And I think that's fair to say. But rudderless implies like no one's in charge and we're just smashing into rocks and no one cares. I think they have a goal they're going for.
What is it? What's their goal? I don't know what it is.
They want this kind of Star Wars. Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy and the people involved want this kind of Star Wars.
What's the goal? I don't know if there's a goal.
I think the goal is to bring in young fans, to bring in fans of a younger generation, get them to enjoy these characters, and then buy into Star Wars. Because look, let's be honest. Not all the young fans are going back and watching the original trilogy and going like, this is great. It's dated or it doesn't work for them or there's comical exchanges for them. It's true. Don't be mad. It's the truth. And so this is where I think they're trying to do. Do I think it's right? Do I think it's working? That's a separate conversation. But I don't know necessarily that I would say they're rudderless. You just may not be liking where they're taking the boat, and that's fair.
Yeah, I'm on that side. All right, here's the next Armada. That Kendrick pop-out show was insane. Loved it. I think Winston mentioned it. I don't know what's happening.
Kendrick Lamar.
What happened?
I have no idea, bro.
Oh, you don't know either. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't done our show yet. He would illuminate me on that.
Okay. Ewok. I am excited for Spielberg's UFO movie. Same. Is Emily Blunt playing Leslie Kane? No. If so, then she's not. She's not. There's no chance. Yeah. If so, then I want my man Cosmo Jarvis from Shogun to play David Grush, but they'll probably go with Jai Courtney. They're not going to do that much. They're not. If they do something along those lines, they're not going to do a full-on, like, that deep into it where it's actual the post type stuff. I hope that they would, but I don't think they are. I think it's going to be more. I hope it's a movie about disclosure. But I think it's going to be, if it is, it's going to be mixed with the fantastical type stuff that Spielberg does. But how do you feel about this UFO?
Yeah, I love it. And I think with Emily is great. Like it's clearly going to be a commentary, right? Spielberg always has a commentary with his sci-fi stuff. So clearly there's going to be some kind of societal commentary he's going to make with this movie. And so having a strong actress like Emily Blunt lead the way makes all the sense in the world. So
Apparently it's like a double lead to it also.
yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be Russell Crowe, because he's big into the phenomenon as well. So we'll see. Tiberius Monk, hey man, thank you. Howdy, K and J. Thoughts on the Amanda Stenberg video? While I empathize with her on the emotions she is feeling with the Acolyte backlash, the video did her no favors. Keep up the great work, gents. Didn't see the video, didn't even know it existed until 5 seconds ago. Did you know?
Yeah, I watched it over the weekend.
What is it? What happened?
That's Tiberius's opinion that it did her no favors. Okay. I think for certain sections of the fandom, it did her favors, and people liked it that she responded strongly. People liked the song, right? Whether you like the song, that's a separate conversation. But for some sections of the fandom, they appreciated the fact that she pushed back. And look, Disney isn't pushing back. Star Wars isn't pushing back. Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, Leslie Headland, they're not coming out and defending Amanda Stenberg. So she's like, fuck it, I'm going to take it on my own, and I'm going to do a song, and I'm going to push back.
But what was it? What is
wrong with it?
But the question is, this is what I worry about when it comes to like, because when you and I have talked about this and we both agreed, right? That anytime you have a show, you're going to have a section of people that are only going to hate it because certain other people are in the shows, right? That's a given. You know that's going to happen. But this show, there's a lot of people who aren't racist and who aren't homophobes and they just don't like the show. And if all of that comes out and people are like, okay, this is not a good show, and you just say, well, you don't like it because it's like, no, I didn't say that. I don't like it because it wasn't a good plot. I don't like it because the characters are not engaging. It all gets looped into one thing, which is really fair. Now, I don't know. I haven't seen the video, so I'm not.
She was just addressing the racist, sexist, and homophobic comments.
Okay,
that people were making.
The actual comments themselves.
Yeah, right. Not people not liking the show. It was addressed to that kind of thing.
I haven't seen the video, so I don't know. But I'm just saying, if it's specifically directed at that, then yeah, of course, you have every right to be able to battle that. If someone comes after you for a particular thing and you feel like, yeah, look, that's a comment, I'm going to address that particular comment. It's something that you said. Then why is that not putting? I guess I have to watch the video to get any kind of context on it. But if that's the case,
but it's the same way, isn't it? Like I see Tony's comment. It was victim narrative. It was cringe. So are all the Star Wars fans acting like victims. You guys you've destroyed my Star Wars. That's also cringe. You're also playing the victim narrative. And so there's a balance here. We've got to find that middle, man. We've got to find the middle where we have honest analysis, honest criticism, and all the extremists on both sides need to be kind of shoved back to the side so that the middle can rule the day again. And so these are the things that have to happen as we see all this stuff happening. Because you can say that it's, but if like there's certain people with large followings and they're promoting some of the racist, sexist, homophobic approaches or points of views, that can be an issue, right? And so that's what seems to be happening here in certain areas of the fandom, which is causing a positive reaction pushback from that. So we'll see. But you're right. Legitimate criticism is getting lost. And that's the problem.
It is. It absolutely. I need to watch the video, but I also need to, I'm like, one thing I can't do is say like, oh, this is happening. So I got to back off from saying that this show's not right. This show's not good. I'm going to say it's not good. And so far and you and I both said that fourth episode, not good. Hank Pym. Am I the only one who finds all this Bray Wyatt stuff extremely bad, corny, and lame? Now it continues with a bunch of jobbers playing Spirit Halloween. Let me preface this before you're about to lose your mind. I am about a month behind on wrestling because of the move. I just haven't been able to watch anything. But all right, so you disagree or you agree with this?
No, I do. I liked the Bray Wyatt stuff before he sadly passed away. And we were about to go next level, I think, with the Bray Wyatt stuff before he sadly passed away. But this Wyatt Six stuff is not working for me at all. I agree with the gentleman who left, or the person who left the comment. Hank Pym. I agree with you, Hank Pym. I did not like that. There are a bunch of mid-carders who have never gotten over. Now, it doesn't mean mid-card talent. It means they haven't gotten over ever, and they've all had multiple opportunities to get over and have never been able to get over. So you put a bunch of those people together, and I'm not scared of that faction. It does nothing for me. Like, I can't even suspend my disbelief that these people are scary. Ooh, they're wearing masks. Because guess what? eventually Bo is going to have to take the mask off and do promos. And he hasn't been strong with promos, And so these are the questions, or Nikki, these are the questions that I look at with this stuff. You look at it long term and it's not working. Whereas I think the new bloodline, the new guys that have come in over the last couple of weeks, man, that has reignited the bloodline 2.0. And I was not buying that. Now I'm in to see where we're going with that.
It's interesting that you say that, because like last time we did speak, when I was on it you were not high on the bloodline at all. And now you are. So that's interesting. And I think there's another question of the bloodline in a second. So we'll get to it. Here he is. Butt Funnel shows up. Always does. Mike Joyce crying about Wikipedia. What ridiculous thing will Star Wars fans cry about this week? The idea, I mean, the going after Wikipedia was insanely ridiculous. But I mean, it goes back to the same conversation.
Yeah.
The idea of, it's not their fault, but the idea that like I am, and I don't know where the conversation went with on your show about not Plo Koon, but who was it?
Kiara Mundi.
Yeah, Kiara Mundi. It's lame the way that they're handling it. It's lame. It's like
specify who's handling what. What do you
mean? Lame that Lucasfilm didn't pay more attention to
fair. That's fair.
It was lame. It was bad storytelling again of them. What they're doing is don't put him in there. What are you putting him in there for? It made no sense. But does that mean that you start putting hate comments towards a fan-run site? Come on, leave him alone.
That's the thing that frustrates me.
They were changing it up because they were changing. It was like, oh wait, because now the way that it is, they're following what Lucasfilm is putting ahead of them. Like you talk about someone that, and they might have. Again, I haven't been paying attention to anything. Lucasfilm should have been protecting them. Of all the stuff that Wikipedia has done for Lucasfilm, like, but I think that it's a matter of, it's silly, but I think it was a stupid move on the Acolyte's part to put him in there.
Yeah, I mean, just should have clarified that more. And death threats are never, that's not a good thing. And that should never happen. And for God's sakes, it's all fictional characters and fictional universes. Grow up. I mean, sending death threats is just too far. And so on either side, because there were all those death threats against certain people on one side of that it should not be happening either way. And so it's kind of ridiculous. But I agree with you. Wikipedia, they did them no favors, for God's sake.
No, at all. Darth Vader's burnt asshole says, happy that Krennic is back in Andor, but I hope it's a small role. And that's it for cameos of this sort. Please leave Vader out. I love Gilroy's stamp on Star Wars. More cameos feels like a Filoni note. I'm going to agree and disagree with you at the same time. I think that it's, I think a smaller role for Krennic towards the end will be impactful and it will help for sure. I think that if you just throw in Vader to go, ooh, there's Vader, then yeah. But if you make it impactful in the same way, like the Luke Skywalker thing, I will fight to this on my deathbed.
Yeah.
That it was necessary. In the same way that not having Yoda in Acolyte is dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah.
The guy's 800 years old. He would know what's happening.
Yeah.
He would try to figure some stuff out. He will at least say, hey, listen, what's going on with this, with the runaway Jedi? He would be part of it somehow, but they're not even putting him in there. And don't give me this cockamamie nonsense about he's not on the high council. He's on the, no, they're not dealing with the high council. They're dealing with like the mid council. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, where's Yoda? Yoda would know what's going on. Stupid. And so, but
it's above his pay grade.
Right. He can't be bothered. If it's impactful, then it works. If it's not impactful and it's just thrown in there to go, ooh, then that's lame. But I think that you could do it. I don't think you need Vader. I agree. I don't think you need him. But if he showed up and they made it impactful, there was a scene where, like, he shouldn't be cutting people down with lightsabers in Andor. There's no.
Right. And I also think this is a different situation because Krennic was clearly the villain of that time.
Yeah.
So it's not a cameo stunt casting to put him in it. It makes sense with the world they are creating over this season where they're jumping through 4 years. Krennic would logically be a bigger part of the story than he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know I'll probably be in the minority here, but now that they've gotten a better hold on deepfake, I wouldn't mind seeing Tarkin again.
Yeah, agreed.
100%. Let's get a better version of what they did in Rogue One.
What about Leia? Would you be okay with Leia deepfake?
See, I don't think so, but I have the same answer that if it was impactful, but I don't think you need her.
Right.
Tarkin, I think you need.
Tarkin is good.
Yeah. Sean Gardner, Rocha, what was your biggest Schmodown accomplishment and your biggest regret?
Well, I think as the years go on, Dan and I beating Chance and Mike in Orlando
Yeah.
is my favorite. I think that's our biggest accomplishment. You know, we had lost them twice. Dan had to win that free for all for us to even have the chance. I was really nervous, and I thought maybe we were going to lose again, and I was going to be shamed out of the damn league. And we got the job done, and we never played better than we did that night. But I think my biggest regret, and I've said this to him personally, but I think indulging in some of the stuff with Bibbs, I think that's my biggest regret, because I really appreciated Bibbs the more I got like distance from our rivalry, and I really appreciate and love him as a person now. And so I feel shameful sometimes when I see some of the back and forths that we had, especially watching that Collider Live thing we did with you. Could tell I had a real hate for him. And
you sold tickets.
Yeah, true. We did, but it got personal, and it never should have gotten personal. So I think that's my biggest regret. Yeah.
Mike Joyce, why is Hollywood trying to make Joseph Quinn a star? Stranger Things was the first thing he did. Now he's in Quiet Place and Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four. I mean, they're not trying to make him a star. Like there are people like that get thrust into the. I remember like Sam Worthington. They're like, and I liked Sam Worthington. Jai Courtney. They're like, here, take your new star. There you go. I think you look at Fantastic Four as an ensemble, right? He's not a lead in Quiet Place. He's Lupita Nyong'o is, and Stranger Things. He wasn't even the star of that. He had a breakout performance, and people loved what he was doing. So I think it's just because they're rewarding his performance, and the fans really got on board with him. But no, I don't think they're trying to jam him down our throats yet. I think he's just getting cast. I think Glenn Powell is a conversation you could have. I like Glenn Powell, but he's one of those where just like Glenn Powell is now the guy like, here, take this. But we'll see how Twisters does.
Yeah.
What do you think about this with Joseph?
I think Mike Joyce is angry about something and needs to show us on the doll what happened, because he's the last few super chats. He's a little angry. Let Joseph do his thing. Let him become a star. What's wrong? Why are you so angry that he's potentially has a chance to be good, a chance to be a star? He's a good actor.
Yeah, I thought so. All right, Ryan, Andor and Rogue One, the only two decent Star Wars products to date, and the common denominator, Tony Gilroy. I would throw in Mandalorian season 1 and season 2 in there as well. I think,
and the last season of Clone Wars I would throw in as well. I thought that was damn good.
Sure, and last season of Clone Wars was good too. And I mean, Rebels wasn't with them; it was before them, right?
Right. Yeah, I think the other common denominator is Dave Filoni did not have any input on those scripts. So
Rebels was Disney.
No, I'm talking about.
No, I know.
But Rebels was, I think, around New Disney. Yeah,
it was Disney. Yeah, it was one of the first things they did.
Yeah, on the Disney Plus, Disney XD. Right.
Yeah, Daniel Arellano. What are your thoughts on the Bloodline attacking Cody Rhodes and the debut of Jacob Fatu on SmackDown? So go ahead, Rocha. This is all you.
Bro, this is the one that worked. This is the one that finally got me interested. And I'll tell you this is the one that reignited the Strong Style guys getting back together to start the show again. So we've been talking over the last few days, ever since all that happened with Cody Rhodes and Fatu. This has woken us up again, man. So that show is coming back on my channel in a different format, but that was great. And I love that Cody, this is how you help your face get over. You put him against people like this. And so I'm so looking forward to this now. I wasn't sold, but the last two, and apparently there's another one coming. This is going to be fun when this actually all goes down. Now it looks formidable. Now it looks equal.
All right.
You got to watch it.
I know. I got to tune back in. Carlton Rudder, London calling. When you watch movies to review them, do either of you take notes to help you after? I do, and it helps with my movie review block. There's a lot of people who do.
Yeah.
I always made a point that I never want to do that. Not because down on anyone else who does. I like to turn on the camera and say what I would if you were standing in front of me. And I don't know what I'm going to say. I have no idea. I turn it on and I just go. I'll know that if I'm going to do it for my review and stuff, I'll have certain things that I want to hit. But no, I don't do notes. But that's not to say that's not a lot of people do. I see people with notepads doing it all the time.
Yeah, each one's different. I don't do notes either, brother. I'm the same way. I like to be free form and flowing and talking about my stuff. I think more structured reviews, I do make like 3 bullet points for the section because I want to hit stuff. But other than that, no, I like to keep it free flowing. And I do. Yeah, I sit next to people sometimes who have their lights on making notes. in the press section drives me insane, man. Drives me insane. I don't know how you pay attention to the movie if you're constantly making notes. But
Yeah, I don't know, but a lot of people do it.
yeah,
All right. Darth Archie, you guys watch Perfect Wife docuseries? Freaking nuts. Must watch. I'll see you in your yard at Christmas, Harloff. Big balls. You're not getting over here, Darth. Your balls will freeze off. So let's see. I'll see you at docuseries, Perfect Wife. You know what this is? I don't.
No, I have no idea what this is.
I don't know what it is. I'm sorry, Archie. You threw us off balance there. But you like to do that. Now go piss on another bag.
Right. Oh, the Sherry Papini one on Hulu.
Oh.
No, that is on my list
to
watch this week. So I will be watching it this week. Yeah.
David Ebekeme. Loved the Hulu doc about the Brat Pack. St. Elmo's Fire remake. Who would you cast as this generation's Brat Pack? I don't know if you could. Are they doing? They're not doing a remake. Is he just asking the question? Because it's
there's rumors about a remake. Really? There's rumors about it. Yeah.
Come on, you got to. But you would put it in the 80s, right?
I don't know.
That's such an 80s movie to do that now. You can't. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're like, hold on. Social media checking their phone. Oh, look how locked in the Rob Lowe character is. I don't know. Who this generation's Brat Pack? I mean, you'd probably shit. I mean, if you're looking at 20s.
You got a lot of choices now, bro.
At the 20s. I mean, how old is Austin Butler?
He's in the mid 20s, right? Probably mid 27. I think
I throw him in there. Throw Chalamet in there.
Austin could be the Rob Lowe character.
Yeah, Zendaya. You have to throw in there, right?
Yeah, Zendaya. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Who else would you throw? I mean, I'm trying to think of the ones.
Joseph Quinn, just to piss Mike Joyce off. I think
maybe. It's funny because I talk about this all the time about why I don't think Furiosa did well. I think you put Anya Taylor-Joy in there. I think she's amazing in that. She's such a great actress. I just another way. So those are the ones that kind of pop up. Yeah, but there's probably other that I'm missing. Yeah. Okay. Al Rencha, I'm loving all the Hawk-Tua memes and gifs. They're everywhere. You cannot scan Instagram without seeing it. I mean, it literally is every other video. You're gonna say when I brought it up today on the interview with Jamie Campbell Bower, he started cracking up. He knew it immediately.
Yeah,
immediately. Matt Sinister McCullough, an overrated movie you hate that everybody loves. Oh, I'm sure Rocha could come up with 1,000 of them. I'd have to. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
Because I always get shit on this every time I bring it up, and I hate it. Okay. Just Friends.
How fucking dare you?
I hate it.
That movie is so good.
No, he's a dickhead when he's overweight, and he's a dickhead when he's skinny. It's no redeeming thing. It's like one thing.
It's about learning the lesson. By the end, he's learned that he has
a sweet guy when he was, and then get picked on, and then he becomes a dickhead. I get it. He's jerk off. Then he's jerk off now. I never. Yeah. I saw the movie once, and everybody loves that movie.
I too. I love it.
Yeah. What do
That's
you?
A Christmas the Goonies is my choice. Everybody, I hate the Goonies. Everybody loves the Goonies.
Wow.
The Goonies bores me to effing tears, man. I hate that movie.
Yeah, I'd rather have my answer. All right.
Well, of course, because you like the Goonies.
That's right. I think Big Balls owes Kaiser money. Did you hear that?
No. What happened? What was the deal with Kaiser?
Man, you want to hear the story, Rocha?
Please.
Yeah. That little freak Kaiser. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I owe him money. That stupid ass came over wasted. He was wasted on, I think it was, what was it, like 2 beers, and he says he drank he had 2 beers, 1 shot, and some NyQuil. And he shows up, stumbling and whatnot, stinking like sausage, and he said, "You owe me money." I said, "Bitch ass trick, yeah, I owe you money? Man, you still owe me $33 from that time that we were stinking up the joint in Vegas." And he said, no, you owe me. I said, yeah, right. I said, okay, look, Kaiser, here's the deal. What's the difference between pheromones and hormones? And I said, you can't make a pheromone. You like that joke? I like that.
Good one.
All right, Rook, I'll see you later.
All right, peace.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really think we got an answer from him. I think he probably still does owe him money.
Keep his cards close to his vest, man.
Yeah.
Balls don't play.
Nope. All right. Keep going. I think we can keep going. Where is it? Yeah, we got more.
Yeah, I got a few more minutes. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Hank Pym, when do you see Shrek 5 coming? I feel like there's 800 million to $1 billion movie waiting for DreamWorks to make it. Are you Shrek fans? I am, and I do think that if you do it right, another one that's one that you take a risk with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do that in a heartbeat. Plus, we need Mike Myers back. He was so great at the recent AFI Nicole Kidman celebration. By the way, he looks interesting now. He's in the Albert Brooks villain in Drive territory.
Oh yeah,
I would like to see Mike Myers as a villain.
Me too. Matt Sister McCall. Coy's right about trash Irishmen. I'm Irish. How dare you? How dare you? Jacob Pynchon. Acolyte had me down about Star Wars. Reread the Bane books. Best thing out of the original trilogy. I agree. I don't see Durand pick, but what writer director could tackle Bane? I don't think Durand is able to do it now. He's older now. Writer director could tackle Bane. Oh man, I think it's so hard for me to say. I mean, you're never going to do it, but I would love to see Alfonso Cuarón. I'd love to see.
Ooh, nice choice.
Love to see Alfonso Cuarón.
I like that idea.
Never going to do it. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I'd love the Bane stuff too. I think my answer is when they sell to Apple. That's Steve S. My local theater closed down suddenly. Oh man, it was open for 96 years. That sucks. I saw the signs with them cutting corners and less patrons. Still another smaller cinema in town, but it's sad. It is. And you know what's funny is where I'm living now, I'm trying to find like the local theater because I go to the city to see the media screenings, but when I want to go here, I'm like looking for certain places, and everybody points me to like the big theater that like everyone goes to in town is this big theater that they put the money into, and that they said the smaller theaters haven't been updated in a while and nobody goes to them anymore. And that's how you can't put the money into it, and people don't want to go anymore when there's better quality theaters. Yeah.
That's a shame. It's a shame.
It sucks. Roman Fedorak. Hey, Kristian, do you need to know the original Game of Thrones show to appreciate House of the Dragon? Would like to start watching. I don't think so.
No, I don't think
I actually think that if you watch House of the Dragon, you will appreciate Game of Thrones more because you'll know the lore of it.
Yep.
I think the opposite. I think that you should start with this show more so than the other one. So
you have more historical connotation and foundation to use for Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I would absolutely say start with it. It's great. Darth Archie coming back in. Wish Star Wars would have focused on a solid, cohesive sequel trilogy with younger Luke, Leia, and Han before doing the prequels, and then circle back to nail Andor quality of the prequels. Stupid dreams. Yeah, I've had those thoughts myself in the way that it's like, and I think John said it right. It's like you're either on board with the way that they're doing it now, or you're not.
Yeah,
and I don't. I mean, I think John's changing. Yeah, I think John's kind of in the middle with it. I think.
There's some things I like, some things I haven't. But overall, I think they have an approach. They're not changing it, no matter how much people complain, because guess what? The numbers are still there. Complain about the Acolyte all you want. It was the number 6 stream show last week. That tells you all the complaints mean nothing to the numbers they're getting in terms of viewership.
Matt Sinister McCall, Harlow's great shows are the best thing since sliced bread. Can't wait for the Bauer interview. Jamie looks like the big bad from the book I wrote. You're gonna love the interview. You're gonna love it. I was only supposed to get 40 minutes with them originally, but then they gave me an hour, which I thought was great. And it's a great conversation. Really got along with them. We laughed a bunch. It was good. Mallory Garrett, are you guys going to watch the Bear season 3 this Thursday? Yes. Losing my mind with excitement. Yes, Mallory. It's one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show. The fact that I have this and House of the Dragon on at the same time. I'll be watching it. So are they dumping the whole season?
Yeah, whole season, bro. Whole season at once, bro.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough to do reaction videos on that.
Yeah, it is. All right, Bob Skywalker. Acolyte cost $180 million. Where did the money go? It's a great question. They couldn't afford a Wookiee fight. I know, that's crazy. That's what they said. They couldn't afford a Wookiee fight. 30-minute episodes. House of the Dragon costs less and we get better CGI on 1 hour episodes. Thoughts? If I didn't know that someone else wrote that, I would say I wrote that. Because that's exactly what I said. Like the show, the House of the Dragon looks incredible. It's written really well. You're intrigued. You see where the money goes. It feels like you're there. It's just there's the 180 million. Who knows? Craft services.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, and look, and just to be clear, like it was around 20 million an episode last season for House of the Dragon. So we don't know what the numbers are for season 2. So but it's only 8 episodes. So if it was 20, that's 160. So it is less than 180.
But if John, even if it was $200 million, even if it was, it still looks significantly better.
I agree 100%. That dragon from the last night's episode. Oh my God.
So good. The dragon from when Rhaenyra was on in episode 1,
Right.
one scene at the end looked a little like
That's
CGI,
fair.
but it's been great. Matt Sinister McCall, Joy Mode sniffing camel hump key item under his Acolyte Sith, said the Sith were extinct to cover his tracks, lied about his date of birth on Jedi application. That's good. That was good. That was good. Yeah, he was. That's what they find out, that he's just been lying the whole time, and then he's like, and then he takes his fist. Okay. Beto Power. Hey guys, imagine a world that Star Wars was bought by WB instead of Disney, and all the shows were produced by HBO. What a wonderful existence that would be. HBO Star Wars show would be pretty fantastic.
Right, but again, that's Andor territory. How many of you all would really? How many of the hardcore Star Wars fans would really be on board with a WB approach to Star Wars? I think Kristian and I would be on board, absolutely. Yeah. But a lot of people complain about Andor who like the pew pew stuff. So how many of them would necessarily be on board?
It depends. I mean, you could also make things, but you can make things more Game of Thrones-ish, if you did that too. But I don't know.
That.
Yeah. Josh Needle, with Edwards directing, is there any chance the new Jurassic Park is made under 100 million? Haven't liked the Jurassic movie since the original, but a smaller scale thriller could get me back on board. I think even 120 would be good. And like, as long as they keep it under like 150, but I think 120 would be where I'm going. Okay. See which, and I think with that cast, you got an opportunity to do it. But I think there's an opportunity we get to 120.
Be fun. Don't forget, Johansson made her bones in independent films. So to go back to that feel within a larger story, I think would be fun to see, and she could anchor that so well.
Agreed. All right, we're gonna lose John in a second. But Nerds Engage, just some support. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Nerds Engage. Let's see if there's anybody else here. We'll do this one, then John, I want you to plug, and I'll finish up.
Okay, sounds good.
Blake Gilbert, have you guys watched the 1985 movie Legend? Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It was directed by Ridley Scott and stars Tom Cruise. I really dug the movie. The fantasy setting worked. The makeup and puppetry was also well done. Yeah, that's an underrated movie. It's an underrated movie.
That's Mia Sara right after Ferris Bueller, and that's Tim Curry as the devil.
It's before
Tim Curry.
Before
Ferris. Yeah, and that's Tim Curry there as the devil, and that's an incredible makeup job. For him as the devil in that
darkness.
Yeah.
All right, John, plug away, my man. Where can I find you?
Thank you all so much. Please come and find me at the Outlaw Nation, that my YouTube channel there, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. My podcasts that are out there, like the Geek Buddies, the Hot Mic, the Jedi Way, and also the Cinephiles, which we just finished doing Total Recall 2-part series with the producer of What the F with Mark Maron podcast. Brendan McDonald joined us for a 2-part a conversation rather on Total Recall. But and then you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for everything I do. So thanks so much. Thanks, Kristian. Good to see you, brother. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, John. All right. Yeah. John told me before I need to leave a little early. So, but he came in for me today when I needed him to. So, all right. Next question. Mirror Domains. Would you rather see a remake of the original trilogy with an older Ewan McGregor and a younger cast, or an Elseworlds trilogy based on George Lucas's treatments for 7/9? The latter. I'd rather see a new Elseworlds trilogy based on Lucas's treatments. I think that would be interesting to see how that would work out, how they wrote it, and how they actually kind of. But I don't know if they would wind up using AI and stuff now too to get the original cast. It'd be weird, I think. Johnny Venerable, say what you want about Book of Boba Fett. It had some of the best Star Wars TV episodes ever. Really? I don't know which ones. The Acolyte is barely watchable, not comparable. Yeah, I mean, it's not something I look forward to. I'll tell you that. It's not something I look forward to. But yeah, Elusive Rock. Did you know that Jane Fonda was the teacher turned outlaw in Capaloo asking for food? I did not know that. I bet you Rocha knew it. I bet you Rocha was about 30 when that came out. See, now I can take shots at him because he's not here. Gary Swift. You can make a good show that's diverse and inclusive. Look at Game of Thrones, for example. The original Game of Thrones material didn't have all that stuff either. In fact, that was a great show. People wouldn't hate it. I mean, yes, I'm on the same page. I'm on the same page. I just think that, there is the problem is that you do have that group of people that do just do it for the hatred side of it. You do have that. And it gets lost I think that there's two sides of it. It gets lost in it where people will automatically, that's why they hate it. That's why because of those people. And it's like, no, the show's it just hasn't been delivering, and they can use it as one of those things like, well, hey, it's just people who hate the show. That's only people who anybody who doesn't like this show is saying it because they don't want to see this, they don't want to see that, and they don't want to see this. And it's like, but that's for this show, that's certainly not the case. But I think Game of Thrones is a great example for sure. Chris Constant, assuming it still happens, I think James Mangold's film about the Dawn of the Jedi has the best chance to fix Star Wars, since it's so far removed from everything and explores a time period that's very new to everyone. I think fix Star Wars is a tough thing to say, because I think John's right. I think in their mind, I don't think they think anything's broken, and they don't think anything's wrong with it. And I think there's a lot of fans that feel that same way. But I do think that there is a good shot that movie, if done well, can revitalize the whole entire fan base. The question is very similar to what we talked about with Marvel. Deadpool and Wolverine is going to do well, but Captain America needs to deliver and Thunderbolts needs to deliver. So if a movie with James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi delivers, well, then do another one a couple years after that period and just play in that time period from now on and stay there and build that out and fix it up that way. But I don't think that they think anything's broken. I think that they like what they're doing right now. Tiberius Monk, any MCU or DC films you disliked but later on became a fan of? For me, Iron Man 3 was a film that I disliked, but it's my top 10 MCU films. I think I have to go back, and I'm sure there is. If I go back, and I'm sure there's movies that Guardians 2. When I first saw it, I hated it. I still think it's like Joke City, USA, but I appreciate it more. So, but I would say, yeah, Guardians 2 is the one that I would say. I rewatched it and I wound up liking it a lot better. And there's some other movies that when we did our rewatches, I felt that same way. Stan Hemphill, I love When I Can Catch You or Rocha Line. Thank you so much. Star Wars is so spiritually and emotionally inspiring for me. How much do we have to pay Disney to let Tony Gilroy take Star Wars movie for a decade or two? I don't think that Gilroy would want to. I think Gilroy likes doing this story and wanted to play in this part of the world, but I don't think he would ever want to take it over fully, because it's just they let him play in his sandbox and he got to do what he wants to do. And I think that there'd be too many people trying to play in his sandbox. And it would be interesting to see if he was going to do that, but he wouldn't. And yeah, I know. I think we all feel the same way right now. And that's what I was trying to say just before, is that it just seems like more and more people feel that way. Jason Pemberfoot, not movies, but I can't wait to hear your take on the Nazca mummies being peer-reviewed with high favor towards it being real. I have been hearing that, and Pavel sent me that the other day. I just the last 2 weeks, I don't recommend moving across the country. it's been a lot of it's been tough to catch up on everything, but I'm going to get a little bit more into that and find out exactly what's going on and talk about it. Okay. All right. Is that it? Could be. Nope. We got a couple more. Cool. Thank you guys. Skeleton Strange, New World's number one fan. 2 images from the new Superman film, including soups on newspaper front in newspaper racks. I work for the Scranton Times Tribune. Bullshit. There aren't any paper racks left in the Northeast. Totally. Yeah, we talked about the pictures. We think they look really good. I like the setting so far. It does look like a Richard Donner movie. I like that. I don't think he's trying to replicate it, but it gives me that kind of cool 70s feel, and I dig it. Armada, do you think Finstock could save Lucasfilm as their new CEO? What would be his first order of business? The company would be canceled within the first 5 minutes of anything that he does. Anything. So I don't know about that. Tiberius Monk, I wish Star Wars the best of luck with a follow-up disappointing season in The Mandalorian, a follow-up to a huge misfire in Rise of Skywalker. I'm hyped for Andor season 2 and hyped for The Bear season 3. Yep. Same, Tiberius. I think that and who was I just talking to about this recently? I can't remember, but I was talking about just about you being a sports fan. If you're a sports fan. Oh, I was at a meet and greet for with Dan Merle, and a really nice guy came up, and he's in the fire department, or he's taking the fire department test. Really nice guy, and he comes up. We're talking for a bit. And we started talking. I said, "Look, you're a sports fan. I'm a sports fan. When you have that coach and you have the players that just aren't making the team win, you just want a new change, and you don't abandon the team. You don't say, "Oh, the team's dead. Team's dead." You say, "No, how can you get who can you get in there to fix things up?" You don't leave the team. You just hope the team gets better. Team's just in last place right now. All right. So this is Mumra. predictions on Cobra Kai season 6 and how do you want it to end. Also, thoughts on the new release schedule for it. New movie called Karate Kid for a third time. The new Karate Kid movie, I want to see a trailer for it and see exactly how they're going to team up. I want to see how it links into Cobra Kai because I feel like it will, and that's one of the reasons that they're pushing it. Predictions on Cobra Kai, I think Terry Silver is going to come back for sure. They're going to do some more stuff with Terry, even though he's kind of gone ski, but I think he's going to come back. And and I don't want to take too many predictions on it because I'm not really sure how it's going to go, but I'm pumped for it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to make that work. I think I got everything. I did. Guys, that was so nice of you. Thank you for joining us here today. I really appreciate it. Thank you to John Rocha for being here also. And Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Put your comments in there, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching on the replay. Thanks for doing that. We'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow's my full interview with Jamie Campbell Bower. We talk about Stranger Things. We talk about, obviously, Horizon Part 1, American Saga. We talk about that. We talk about Game of Thrones. We talk about, the Haktua Girl. We talk about everything. So make sure you join the show tomorrow. I'm going to put it up in the morning. It's going to be me and Jamie for about an hour. It's a great conversation. We're getting a lot more interviews here, and we hope that you'll check them out. That will help me do more, by the way. So if I can do more, if you guys watch the interviews, I can get more interviews. So watch the interviews. All right. Thanks for joining us. And once again, thank you to John Rocha. Thank you to everybody who joined us here today. Really appreciate you. And we'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay. Kaiser owes me money. That little bitch. I saw him running around and it looked like he had an itch. He was getting really dirty with those fools. He was dancing around, no underwear in the pool. See you later.